Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fandom Anime Livestream. Except not really. That is once again a misnomer. This is a pre-recorded interview with artist Che Lingo. How you doing?
Yo, I'm good, man. How are you?
I am good. It is a foggy day in Los Angeles, and that is appreciated. The sun gets oppressive out here.
I hear it. I hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's not too bad here. It's a bit humid. I had to take off my jacket. So yeah, I'm alright. I'm alright. Drinking my water, staying hydrated.
No, I'm still on coffee over here. Like the time zones, it is okay. Like
What
9
time is
a.m.
it?
isn't
What time is it over there?
9:02 a.m. on the dot.
Good morning, LA.
Mm. Can you tell the folks listening a bit about yourself? What you got going on? Your anime fandom? Like, can I get to know you a little bit?
Yes. All right. So my name's Che Lingo. I'm from Southwest London, a place called Wandsworth over here. Um, I make music. I creatively direct. I have ideas essentially, and I'm just not afraid to execute them sometimes. And sometimes they work. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes they work. I started out in music. That's kind of the engine for everything I do creatively. I came out of youth clubs. It wasn't like a go to uni, become popular, and then start making music and see what happens type thing, and then get a deal and whatever. I was just like essentially just the nerdy kid in the youth clubs, just collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon,
Yeah.
um, going to the studio, just being a studio rat and just trying to work out how to make myself sound cool on the mic, essentially. And I think I've managed to do partially some of that, hopefully. Yeah, since those days back in 2000 and whatever it was, I was doing open mics in my early days, like in 2013, 2014. I was doing a lot of open mics and that graduated to like showcases and stuff. And then just in my local area, and then to like local festivals, and then to bigger situations like fates. And I didn't really enter many competitions, but I just put myself in the right places and was just polite to everybody. Do you know what I mean? Just made sure I had something of worth under my belt when it came to the music, stuff that I liked. And in 2016, I charted for the first time. I was, I think, number 7 on the hip hop iTunes chart, alongside some greats, which was fantastic for a song that I'd released ages ago with SBTV. God rest Jamal Edwards' soul. He passed away, the founder of SBTV. He passed away a little while ago. Um, so God rest his soul. He gave me one of my first opportunities to kind of spread my word, um, to the masses, essentially, especially in the city. And that was a catalyst for a lot of other things. Since then, fast forward into more recently, I've written music for Jujutsu Kaisen. I've collaborated with Queen on my previous album, a reinterpolation of Radio Gaga that they allowed us to release, which features Freddie Mercury's original vocal from the original song, all done through like Abbey Road and all these other people. Big shout out to Roger Taylor, the drummer on in Queen. And yeah, we've done a lot of stuff. I just came off of a 2 album deal with Idris Elba's label, and I'm independent again. And we are now my first independent song since that deal after 2 albums. The first one being called The Worst Generation. The second one, which is more about my environment and how I grew up and where I came from, being like a street kid more than being like a roadman or like a gangster of any kind. Like I was just very true to form. I had a lot of friends that unfortunately have passed away, or some of them are in prison, but I also have a lot of friends that are doing great stuff. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? And some of them that are reforming and turning their lives into fantastic things. And I'm just here to use my gifts to support them and feed myself and feed my family and feed my people. So yeah, first album was 2020, October 23rd, and that was The Worst Generation, which is actually a nod to One Piece. If you know, you
I was gonna
know.
ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I'm using this as the first opportunity to say, yes, The Worst Generation is a nod to One Piece,
Mm.
even though the album isn't about anything of that nature. But the concept of the old world, the new world, and the misfits in between, I am the misfits in between. Like I represent not this, not that, but the thing in between. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, and how that fits, but then also doesn't fit, but is also very necessary to make these two understand each other. Do you know what I mean? So, which I think is a big part of what Oda was trying to do with that concept of those 12 to 11 to 13 captains. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. I'm a big fan. I've got it. I've got the tattoos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tony Rogers on my thing. I got Soul Eater on my neck. Yeah, I got. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
Oh,
Second album was. was April 6th this year. It's called Coming Up for Air. That's the one that features Queen and a lot of other people. Yeah, and that was a pivotal one for me. That was about me coming out of my bulimia, which I suffered from over 2020 through COVID. I'm sure a lot of people had dieting issues during that time as well. I suffered an injury that stopped me from being able to like create a little bit, and it cost me a lot of money just to get around because I was on a boot. I tore my ACL. And yeah, it caused a lot of mental strain on me. I also ended up a really long relationship around that time as well. Thankfully, we're still friends and it ended amicably, but it obviously took a massive toll on me emotionally, and it kind of pushed me into my shell a lot. So this Coming Up for Air is an album about coming away from that, coming out of that, and moving back into a more healthy space with food and such, you know what I mean? So yeah, and now we're here. Now we're here. We toured the UK, we toured Europe, and now we're here.
I love it, and I love that you're here. And no, I love that you dig the labeling of those characters in One Piece as the worst generation as much as I do. It is
Yeah.
such good writing to me that this group of people who don't even necessarily want to reform, don't even want to necessarily change a leadership, are just showing that they can exist and thrive outside of the system that has been established, that has been forced onto them. That they're labeled the worst because of that. That is, I don't know, that really powerful, really clever writing there, and I'm
Yeah,
glad you
man,
also
exactly.
appreciate that. Yeah.
No, I love that. I love that. And it says, like I said, it says a lot for who I am in the city. I'm not, to some people, I'm if you know, you know, and to other people, I'm like it's one of their favorites, one of their goats. You know what I mean? Like one of the
Yeah.
people they respect most, at least. And I just try to carry as much integrity in this very specific lane that I'm in with the collaborations with anime and writing for Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm probably one of the only. I think we did the research, and I'm one of the only like public facing artists in the UK to have done that. So yeah, especially being a black one. Do you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
and we're in a good space, and we are carving out a very specific lane, and one that I'm steadily learning hasn't really been walked before. Do you know what I mean? Or even carved. So yeah, man, I think I've said it before, but it's definitely a lane I'm having to carve out with a teaspoon, but it's a sweeter cup of tea at the end. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that is a really good metaphor. Can I steal that? Can I use that one
Yeah, cool. You
sometime?
can have it. That
Yeah,
one's free. That
awesome.
one's free. You might have to pay for the next one, but that one's free,
Oh,
bro.
much appreciated.
No, I'll
I
play
was
with you.
I was actually going to ask. Japanese media production is famously and largely insular. Can you share how you were able to collaborate on Jujutsu Kaisen on that soundtrack? What did that process look like?
Yeah, it was very specific. So and it was a godsend, man. It was a real godsend, and I couldn't have written it more beautifully myself. So I did I'm gonna go back to the very conception of this story. So I did in 2017, I did Colors Berlin. I did Colors, the platform, the European platform that breaks artists, a lot of artists in the city and across the world now. I did my colors was called Zuko, and it was completely and exclusively fire metaphors in many different ways, and it blew a lot of people away. So yeah, go check that out if you get an opportunity. But off doing that, I met a producer and like tech mogul called Manon Dave, and he's also a composer. He's since written and been like Oscar nominated for music he's put into movies and such, and he's become like one of my tightest friends. He actually executively produced both my albums, both The Worst Generation and Coming Up for Air. And we've worked together. We've worked together almost every week since. You know what I mean? That's my brother. So he was in Qatar and he met Yuki Yamamoto, and I'm sure a lot of people know who he is. He holds the mantle as one of the composers, one of the only composers to ever have touched the Final Fantasy soundtracks, and
Mm.
he's done Love, Death, and Robots, and Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and many other great things that exist in our world or are adjacent to our world in regards to the anime community. And he got offered from Toho Animation to compose the soundtrack for Jujutsu Kaisen, and he rang Manon to find me. He'd heard my first album after Manon had met him in Qatar, and they'd exchanged some work and some words and whatever, and they knew each other and respected each other. And Manon was like, if you're looking for this type of person, I've got the perfect guy for you. And he was like, oh, is he into anime? And are you sure it's going to be his kind of thing? And this is this and that's that. And loads of disclaimers, you know what I mean? Those of like
Yeah.
very respectful disclaimers. And I guess they came in many different capacities to him. So he just wanted to make sure I was definitely down for it. Because it was 5 songs they asked me to write. And then they ended up using 4 of them in the main soundtrack to the anime. So he loved my work. He sent my work to Toho Animations. They said he's perfect. So yeah, man on supervised. And I wrote 5 songs. Originally they sent me the brief just to do scenes for Panda. And then beyond that, it kind of just went a bit further than that. The Jujutsu Kaisen team and the Toho Animations team that were assigned to the anime were on Zoom during the recording processes. Obviously, it's a very tentative time, and it's just massively popular anime that people are investing in many different capacities. So you had to make sure it was right. I can imagine, but almost every take I did was almost the first take, and they were just applauding me online. Do you get me? Like, so
Love it.
it was an amazing experience. We recorded out Pinewood Studios, which is where they do loads of other movies like Star Trek and 007 and all these other things. So a lot of big budget things come out of there, and I was just privileged to be in there, let alone to be working with Yuki on it, and Hiroaki Satsumi, who's done like Pokemon, like loads of soundtracks for the different Pokemon franchises and many other things. Some movies, I believe, as well, and other anime, obviously. And yeah, it was just great to be connected with them and to be working with them in such a big way. Do you know what I mean? Such a massive way. And then to see Jujutsu Kaisen like blow up in the way that it did, beyond how successful it was from the manga anyway. And it was so crazy because they specifically chose me. They went to nobody else, is what they explained to me after they discovered my music. And not only that, but then when I went online and I kind of said, I wonder who else has done this, because as much as it's great to be like the only one, quote unquote, from the Western world who's done something of this nature, this gravity. One, I hope I'm doing it justice from what I understand, if I was from an objective place, because obviously I love this space and I love this media form, but also I want to find a community of people who do this thing, and it wasn't one. So I was like, wow, I am actually somewhat alone here to some extent. Do you know what I mean? As a public facing artist who does this more so than maybe a songwriter. And yeah, it was just an amazing experience. So when I posted about it and said, yo, I've just joined up with a music team from Jujutsu Kaisen and Toho Animations, and I've written some songs for Jujutsu Kaisen that are going to be coming out on the official soundtrack and the official OST. I was like, it started to go viral. People started writing about it, all the way to the point where maybe only a couple months after the season 1 had ended, I tweeted, and you could probably still find this tweet online. I think I was just randomly tweeting one day, and I said Jujutsu Kaisen season 2, and I spelt Kaisen wrong. and somehow it was just a slip of the finger, and somehow it went viral. That went viral, and then loads of like other anime platforms, like news platforms and whatever, just started writing rapper that writes for Jujutsu Kaisen, like teases Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 and la. Obviously, it wasn't to come out till many months later. You get me? Years, almost a year later now. I was like, wow, this is crazy. I didn't even know I had this kind of impact, and I got so many followers who were thanking me from so many different places in the world for my contribution to it, and that's what I saw it as, a contribution. So yeah, we recorded in Pinewood. I worked with Hiroaki Tsutsumi and Yuki Yamamoto, and supervised by Manon Dave, and all written by myself.
That is that is incredible. There's got to be a word for both inspirational and heartwarming, but it escapes me at the moment. But that's what that is. I mean, like after this like incredible achievement, after like you said, kind of being alone in this space, carving out your own niche here. What's next? What do you want to do next?
More music, man. I'm working on, like, I'm creatively directing a few projects. One being this collaboration with Crunchyroll in its sense as well. Yeah, just more music, bro. More music. I'm just working on a lot of different projects, and I want to move into VA as well, like into voice acting stuff. People say I've got a good speaking voice, so quote unquote. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to what might come to me and what ideas I'm inspired to have based on like this new and very specific, very niche path that I'm going on as anime in itself grows in the Western world, but also within myself and what I'm able to do. Because it's anime, it promotes such a level of freedom. Do you know what I mean? And I just want to make sure that I'm utilizing and taking full advantage of that freedom to mainly to just show other people that it's possible. I'll be honest, there's we have diversity humps to go over, and we have integrity humps to go over in business and in whatever, full stop. But like, I just want to make sure that I'm championing it the right way and I'm doing justice to what people have found so much hope in and what I have found so much of myself in, you get me, which is the medium of anime, full stop. And then some of the biggest titles in that we're going to be showcasing with this new song. So yeah, I'm really, really happy and really excited and feel very blessed to be in this space. And I definitely won't be taking that freedom for granted.
Again, incredible. Yeah, and yes, you do have a fantastic voice for VA. We got to get you in there. We got to get you. I don't know if it's the same booth to record music as it is to record VA lines, but we got to get you into whatever booth that is.
Please, anyone who's looking for VA, shout me, please. I'm into it.
Fantastic. And speaking of shouts, as we are winding down, anything you want to shout out? Anything you want to promote specifically?
Yeah, feel free to go listen to my 2 albums, The Worst Generation and Coming Up for Air. They're both available on all streaming platforms. All my social media is CHE_LINGO, Che_Lingo. Yeah, come find me. The last album had such a big impact on my growth as a person, and I want to make sure that people are able to vent. So sometimes we have like little Discord meetings where people vent as well. So I've got a Discord that I post on my social media sometimes, maybe once a week or so. And yeah, if you need to vent or you're in any kind of dark place, I can't say that I'm a therapist. I can't say that I'm somebody who can help you, but I can definitely be there to listen. Do you know what I mean? And minimum I'll do is send you a little blue heart just to make sure you know I've seen it and you've been heard. Do you know what I mean? I know how that felt not having that. But luckily I had music and not everyone has music. So yeah, feel free to send me a DM if you're not feeling yourself right now. And you might need some words and hopefully my words help.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on, Che. Thank you all for checking this out. Once again, not in spite of everything, because of everything, I am still Lucas DeRuyter, Fandom's anime community manager. And I wish you all a great, I don't know, rest of your day, rest of your week, whatever time, a good forever. I wish you a good forever.
A good forever. I love that. I love that.
Goodbye.
Peace.